Leg strength after 70 doesn't decline because of age alone. It declines because the leucine threshold needed to trigger muscle rebuilding rises with age, and most morning meals don't come close to hitting it. These 5 foods are the ones that actually do. Muscle strength declines up to 25 to 35% per decade after age 70, and your legs feel it first because they carry every step, every stair, every moment of independence you have. But the window to push back on that decline is open longer than most people realize. What you eat in the morning matters more than most doctors tell you, because breakfast is when your muscles are most primed to absorb protein after an overnight fast. These 5 foods are not supplements or powders. They are ordinary grocery items with real science behind them. The first food costs roughly 20 cents and sits in most refrigerators right now. Whole eggs. Not egg whites. Not a carton. The whole egg. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that whole eggs triggered roughly 40% greater muscle protein synthesis rates compared to egg whites alone. The reason is the yolk. It contains leucine, the amino acid that acts as the ignition switch for muscle building, along with fat that slows digestion just enough to keep amino acids circulating longer. Each large egg delivers about 1.1 grams of leucine. After 70, your muscles become what researchers call anabolically resistant, meaning they need a stronger leucine signal to respond. 3 eggs at breakfast puts you close to the 3-gram leucine threshold shown to overcome that resistance. But the egg is only the start of this morning strategy. The second food targets the exact same threshold in a completely different way. Greek yogurt is the second food, and it solves a problem eggs alone cannot. 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt delivers roughly 17 to 20 grams of complete protein, including around 1.5 to 2 grams of leucine. More importantly, Greek yogurt is built from casein protein, which releases amino acids slowly over 5 to 7 hours. That slow release matters because muscle protein breakdown does not stop the moment you finish breakfast. A sustained amino acid supply throughout the morning is what keeps your muscles in a net building state rather than a net losing one. Greek yogurt also carries calcium and, in fortified brands, vitamin D, which plays a documented role in muscle contraction and function. Older adults who are low in vitamin D show measurably faster loss of leg strength. Pair Greek yogurt with your eggs and you are hitting the 3-gram leucine target with room to spare. The third food on this list is the one most people skip at breakfast, and it may be the most consequential of all. Before the third food, it is worth understanding why morning timing matters so specifically. After 70, muscle strength declines 25 to 35% per decade, significantly faster than muscle mass itself. Researchers at the Scientific Reports Journal confirmed in 2024 that muscle strength falls far faster than the tissue disappears. This acceleration happens partly because aging muscles develop anabolic resistance, a blunted response to protein. A 25-year-old can trigger meaningful muscle repair with 15 to 20 grams of protein per meal. After 70, research consistently shows the threshold rises to 25 to 30 grams, spread across meals, not loaded into one sitting. Sarcopenia prevalence rises from around 5% at age 65 to 36% by age 85, according to a 2025 ERIC cohort study of nearly 6,000 adults tracked over 12 years. That jump is not inevitable. It is a dietary and activity gap, which is why the third food is something almost no one over 70 eats at breakfast, but probably should. Canned salmon is the third food. It belongs at breakfast more than almost anywhere else, and here is why. Salmon delivers 2 nutrients that work on muscle through completely separate pathways. The first is high-quality protein, around 22 grams per 3-ounce serving, with a leucine profile that rivals eggs. The second is omega-3 fatty acids. Research has documented that omega-3 fatty acids in seafood can enhance the body's ability to build muscle even in older adults who are not doing vigorous exercise. A 2025 study following Korean adults over 6 years found that oily fish consumption was specifically associated with better gait speed, one of the sharpest clinical markers of leg strength decline. Fish also provides vitamin D, a nutrient that directly supports muscle fiber contraction. Canned salmon on a piece of whole grain toast at breakfast is roughly 25 grams of protein, meaningful omega-3 content, and vitamin D in a single 5-minute meal. The fourth food works on a different biological lever entirely, one most people have never heard of. Cottage cheese is the fourth food, and it holds a specific record that matters here. 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese contains approximately 2.9 grams of leucine. That is the full leucine dose researchers have identified for overcoming anabolic resistance in a single serving in one food without pairing. That number comes from dietary protein analysis specifically examining leucine content in foods relative to what older muscles require per meal. Cottage cheese is also built primarily from casein protein, giving it the same slow-release property as Greek yogurt. But its leucine density per calorie is higher than almost any other breakfast food that is not a protein powder. It is soft, requires no cooking, and mixes well with berries or a spoon of nut butter for a complete morning meal. If you find Greek yogurt too tart or eggs too heavy on some mornings, cottage cheese is the direct substitute that hits the same biological target. The fifth and final food is the one most surprising to find on this list, and the one with the most recent research behind it. The fifth food is kefir. It is a fermented milk drink, tangy, pourable, and widely available in grocery stores, and it has drawn serious research attention for older adults, specifically because it combines 3 muscle-relevant properties in one glass. First, it is a complete protein source with around 9 to 11 grams per cup, and a leucine contribution that pairs well with eggs or cottage cheese to reach the morning threshold. Second, its fermentation process improves protein digestibility compared to regular milk, meaning more amino acids actually reach your muscles rather than passing through. Third, kefir's probiotic content is now linked in emerging research to what scientists call the gut-muscle axis, the biological pathway by which gut inflammation blunts the muscle-building response to protein. A morning gut environment that is less inflamed responds better to the protein you eat. For someone over 70 who is already eating eggs and Greek yogurt, replacing a glass of orange juice with kefir is the most impactful single swap on this list. The right foods at the right time each morning stack these 5 mechanisms on top of each other. Here is what the research distills into a practical morning. Your muscles have been fasting for 7 or 8 hours overnight. The moment you eat, there is a brief window when muscle protein synthesis is most sensitive to what arrives. Hitting 25 to 30 grams of complete protein with at least 3 grams of leucine in that first meal is not overcorrection. It is the corrective dose for a body past 70 whose muscles are asking for a stronger signal. You do not need all 5 foods every morning. 2 or 3 from this list combined will get you to the threshold. 3 scrambled eggs with a cup of Greek yogurt is roughly 37 grams of protein and close to 4 grams of leucine. Canned salmon on toast with a cup of kefir clears 35 grams. The muscle loss that accelerates after 70 is real, and the research on it grows sharper every year. But so does the evidence that the right breakfast, built deliberately, is one of the most direct tools available to slow it down. Your legs are paying attention to what you eat this morning.